LocalBozo.com is proud to have with us as our guest for an exclusive interview, lead guitarist from Candlebox, Peter Klett. Pete, thanks so much for giving us a few minutes today.
Absolutely no problem.
Peter, we're just a few short days away from the April 3rd release of Candlebox's new album, Love Stories and Other Musings, the band's first new release in almost 4 years. What's different about this new record? If you can, talk about the writing and recording process at this stage in your career.
Well, what's different is we have the backing of bigger companies than we did last time. The writing process was a little different. Sean, our other guitar player who's been with us since we got back together, and Adam, who's been with us since from a year after we got back together, they both had a lot more to do with the writing this time, which created, I don't know, I guess a broader landscape due to Sean as a guitar player is a bit different than I am. We're different, but we collaborate very well. Similarities and the differences mesh well and create more opportunities, I think, especially for me as the guitar player that's been writing with Kevin and when Barty was in here with him exclusively. I can kind of sit back and do less to somebody else's idea, you know, because there's two guitar players with two different styles, so this time we kind of had more space and less layering and less fullness, without losing, you know, width and depth of the song. So that was a big part, and Kevin Martin actually had some more songs this time. Different outlook. He as a lyricist wanted to be a little bit more upfront. And some of the songs he was writing and collaborating with people were just a little bit different. So all in all, it's got more depth in the sense that the songs are different and kind of an old Candlebox, but with something a little bit new.
We got to sample a little bit of the new album. Some of the tracks are really great, especially the up-tempo Believe in It. It's the first single from the album. It seems to have an incredibly positive message. Was that a conscious decision to gear the song that way, or did the message more develop through an organic process?
Well, the song, the music idea was something I had been working on at the house here, and then I sent it down for Kevin to check out, and he really liked it, so he started processing the song. And once I got down there with Adam and Sean and Dave Cruzen, who did the record, all in a room together, I guess it reminded him of kind of, for some reason it made him think of like the Jackson 5 and the beat and the feel, even though it doesn't sound anything like it. So he started reminiscing and thinking about, you know, watching those videos, and started thinking about his son. And so he wrote about, you know, according to, you know, kind of how his father was and what am I going to leave my son and things like that. So that's kind of how that came about.
Pete, for fans who haven't heard much of the new album yet, what do you hope that longtime Candlebox fans can take from the new record?
Well, they get what they like from the Candlebox that is, you know, and has always been. But I guess lyrically for Kevin, he wanted to be a little bit more obvious and up front instead of less kind of poetic, may not be the right word, but more kind of the message hidden within the words for people to create their own meanings for it. And also they're going to get a little bit broader, just a little bit different, a growth, I guess, something new, you know.
Since starting off at such an incredible pace to the plateaus and the hiatus, it certainly seems the band has come full circle. What brought this version of Candlebox back together for the new album and tour?
Well, you know, it kind of ran its course for various reasons, good and bad. Getting back together, Rhino Records had a release of the best of, and Kevin had called me saying, you know, they're going to do this, and so I said, you know, well, why don't we, he was going to come up for to visit his family that December. I said, why don't we get together and talk about how we feel, and maybe we should go out and tour in support of this and see how everybody feels. And so he came up, and we talked, and we decided that, to go for it. Let's do it. So that's what we did. Called Barty and Scott, and they were totally into it. Got together, ran through some of the songs, finished the songs with huge grins on our faces. So that's what we did.
Speaking of the tour, we're just a few short days away from the band heading out on a brand new headlining run. Now, you'll be coming locally to New York City at the Gramercy Theater on Wednesday, May 2nd. Tickets are available now. Can you talk a little about what it's like to play in New York City and maybe some of your memories from some of your shows here?
Yeah, I mean, we were just there for press, and every time I get there and come into the city, and it's just like, I love New York City. I love it. I don't know if I could live in Manhattan, but I love to visit, and the people, it's kind of this rough edge that I like. And we've played there several times, obviously, and it's kind of, it's just the people are cool, and if they're into it, they're into it. If they're not into it, you know it, and at least they're honest. So you just don't know what you're going to get in New York, and if, you pull through, it's almost like, Yankees fans. If you suck, they let you know. If you're good, they love you to death. So that's what I like about New York, and obviously being there and everything is, your beck and call, and it's just a good place to hang out.
The band got started during a time when music was being pushed by MTV videos and there was a such thing as rock music radio. Certainly times and the music industry in general have changed, but what's been the biggest challenge for Candlebox in that you're already an established band to sort of reemerge and get word out about the new release and tour when so much of what used to work has now disappeared?
Well, before, like you said, there was rock radio and a lot of it, a lot more individuals making decisions instead of these days, it seems to be on high command kind of thing, and it spreads out through every station. Unfortunately, that doesn't help a lot of bands that, want to get out there, especially the new people, I mean, like I've always said, I just don't understand how they could ever play George Thorogood again on modern radio, but it is what it is. Back then you actually sold units. People actually bought CDs, and of course when we came out there was cassettes, so they'd wear them out and buy another one. So the artists, less so than the label, could make some real money outside of touring. But with that being said, the media outlets allow you to get your music to a lot more people instantly, and when you're touring, it's your money more so, because we don't have anybody giving us tour support. So what we make is what we earn, and I'm okay with working for the money.
With the current tour slated to run through the middle of May, what does the band have in store for the rest of 2012?
Well, the goal is to get overseas. We've been to Europe before, back in the 90s. Not enough. We did do a show in South America last year that was quite fun with great reception, so we want to go back down there and also get to the markets we haven't been, like Australia and over in Japan and all of Asia, any place we can go, just to try to see if we can't conquer some more countries like we did back in the day, and also have a hit record in the States and to be able to really continue for years to come.
Pete, thanks so much for your time today. Is there anything else you have for the readers of localbozo.com?
It's like I said, it always sounds cheeseball, but thanks to the fans that allow us and it's kept us alive. I really appreciate it.
Fans, make sure to check out Love Stories and Other Musings, the brand new album from Candlebox, which drops on April 3rd wherever you buy your rock music. And you can join localbozo.com on Wednesday, May 2nd, as Candlebox returns to the Big Apple at the Gramercy Theater. Tickets are just $22 and are available right now. Peter Klett, thanks so much for joining us today on localbozo.com. All the best of luck to you guys on the new album and the upcoming tour.
Thank you very much, and my pleasure.